So first of all, Apple's reportedly facing a shortfall of nearly 6 million iPhone 14 Pros this holiday season after protests at the world's largest iPhone manufacturing plant in China. Can you tell us why there were protests?
Yes, this is down to China's zero COVID policy, which has meant that across the nation there have been protests, not just in the area where the Foxconn factory is building so many of the world's iPhones, because out of nowhere, the slightest suggestion that someone has COVID can lead to big lockdowns. Now, in a big factory like the one at Foxconn, there were I think they're now saying miscommunications about how things should work. And it led to quite serious protests. And most importantly for Apple, a huge shortfall in the production of iPhone at an absolutely critical time of the year.
So is anything being done to address these concerns that the workers have?
Yes, I think it's been said that this is going to be one of Tim Cook, the Apple CEO. It's going to be one of the biggest demands on his capabilities in terms of tact and diplomacy, and he certainly has plenty of both to be able to come through this problem. But I've no doubt they will. And yes, they have addressed issues within the factory to get people back to work, to ensure that they can return to the production line. But there's no doubt that it will take time to catch up with where they should have been.
Definitely. Reuters reported this morning that Foxconn has begun hiring new workers as it attempts to scale up production. They are saying that will take 3 to 4 weeks. So when will, on the consumer side, people see the supply chain normalize?
It's a difficult one to answer because I think even Apple were taken aback with just how popular some of this year's iPhones, especially the Pro models, have been. Way before there were issues at Foxconn, there were shortages, and you could place your order, and the time when it would arrive got longer and longer unless you were really quick off the mark. So there's a double problem going on here. As soon as they can get the Foxconn issues that are COVID related out of the way, they've got to catch up with the backlog, and that demand was already greater than it should have been. So I think if you're choosing certain iPhones, you may find that it's still going to be difficult to get it this side of the holiday season.
Just how hard will it be to get the new iPhone?
I think as time goes on, things will gradually normalize, but for sure, they're very short on the ground at the moment, and it will take time to catch up. I would say, hopefully, before the end of this month, things will be sort of back to normal.
And are these shortages going to impact the price?
No, I don't think they will because Apple is pretty resolute at keeping its prices static. They rarely drop them, sadly, but they rarely increase them during the life cycle of a particular product. That's the case in America. Here in Britain, things are a bit different because the exchange rate can lead to a volatility in the price. But even so, Apple does its best to keep things on an even keel and at the same price throughout.